come in with an open mind and with an expectancy of changing. Welcome to Shifting My Life podcast, where our motto is it does not matter the energy that life has given you. You are not here to match the energy of the past, but you are here that once you walk into this podcast, you are here to shift this atmosphere in here to share your story to where it is going to possibly transform someone's life, possibly change someone's life. And so this evening we have Mr. King that is going to be a part of Shifting My Life podcast, where King is going to share his story about his son, not his son, about his brother, Devin Page. And we're not going to go too deep. We're just going to actually give King a little bit chance to just share about his brother and how he feels and how he felt when it happened and how he's feeling now and what he's doing to recognize his brother, because King is doing some great things too here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. King, thank you so much for trusting me. I love King. I just love him so much from the time I met him. He has a great spirit. And I want you guys to just tune in to really just listen to what King has to say. And so, King, I want you to kind of share a little bit about, we're not going to go back through that night and that day, okay? But I want you to share about today, where you are today and how are you feeling about the death of your brother, Devin.
I'm feeling alright today,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels sad that I lose my brother, and it's really hurtful for me because he only lived for like few years,
3 years.
3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't get to spend more time with him,
Mm-hmm.
and I wish I could see him again, and it's just a lot, and my sister Yaya don't even know what happened,
Mm-hmm.
but she know that she's still in heaven.
She knows that he's not here. She don't know what happened with him, but she's missing him being a part of you and your mom's family.
And I took the leap test today,
Mm-hmm.
so I got one more to go.
One more leap test to go. So you think that you did good on the leap test?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I want you guys to know that King is so strong. He does his best to try and be that big brother for his sister Yaya. He also does his best to try and take care of his mom. But in the midst of all of this, King does experience anxiety. He experiences some days where he doesn't want to talk, some days that he just wants to be withdrawn and don't want to talk to anyone. But he shared today that he took his lead test. And so you guys got to imagine that from the time this happened up until now, for this child to be present here, to want to be a part of Shifting My Life podcast, to share with you just a few minutes about how he's feeling, you got to know that that shows that he is growing and that God is walking with him as well. And so, King, do you imagine Devin, Juju? Do you imagine him running around in heaven? How do you imagine him being in heaven with God?
It seems like you're having a good time.
It seems like it. And when you say it seems like it, what you mean? You mean because you have dreams? Okay, and so tell me about one of the dreams, one of the good dreams.
So one of the dreams that I saw that he was in heaven and he was having a good time, because when I be sleeping, I be hearing some names that be calling me. I thought it would be my mom said, King,
Mm-hmm.
King.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I be watching the TV in the gaming room,
Mm-hmm.
and I have the door closed, then I hear like the TV be loud, so I hear something in the background say King, King,
Mm-hmm.
and I say yeah. I thought my mom was calling me. It sounded like my brother.
Mm-hmm. That's your brother calling you. And so does that scare you, or does that make you feel close to him?
It made me feel kind of scared.
Kind of scared? Okay. Oh, that's good that you said that. He says that it makes him feel kind of scared, but I want you to know that he cannot hurt you. And you know he wouldn't hurt you. You understand? That's just him coming to let you know that I miss you, King. I love you, King. And that I'm okay. Most of all, that's what he's telling you, that I'm okay. And I want you to be okay because I know that this is hard for you. you know. But he wants you to, that's why he's coming to visit you and tell you, King, don't worry about it, man. Keep doing what you're doing, keep going, keep trusting in God, because we know that you be singing with your grandmother, Kathy Tolliver. And King has made a rap song. Well, you made several songs, haven't you, King? About his brother Devin Page. Do you want to give us a little bit of that? You want to kind of give us a little bit of one of those songs? No, you don't want to sing. I'm surprised.
But they would have to look it up.
They would have to look it up. Oh, now, nah, that's business. All right, King. King said y'all got to look him up on his page and on his label. I love that, King. So, but he is actually going to be collaborating with another young lady that lost her brother, and they're going to make a rap song. And so, y'all make sure y'all look out for that as well, and because King has wrote the lyrics to it and everything, and so they're going to collaborate and come together and make a rap song. And so I'm excited about hearing that. And y'all make sure that just like how you're looking out for his mom, you make sure that you look out for King, because he's going to be great too one day. He's going to be all over this world. He's going to be on stages talking. But for right now, we also need you to lift King up in prayer, because him being a young man and not really understanding death, he's doing the best that he can to try and understand death. But King goes to school. He has a lot of friends. And so do you have your own page on Facebook yet?
Can't have it.
Not yet. But it's coming. But so y'all make sure that y'all look out for him. King Tolliver, what's your last name?
Young.
King Young. Let me say that again. King Young. Y'all make sure you look out for him, because I'm gonna be looking, because when he start making that money, I want him to think about Miss Carolyn. I want him to think about Miss Carolyn. And I just want to say this: if it's any young therapists out there, and you don't necessarily have to be young, but if you think that you have something to offer King, because we're always looking for strong mentors for King, someone that can build him up, someone that he can feel comfortable to talk to, because we as women, yes, we talk, and he shares with me, he shares with his mother, and he has other people, and his grandmother, and he has other people that he shares with. But it is so important that he finds someone, a man that he could share with. And let me just say this: he does have strong men in his life. But a lot of times, King, just like how you not gonna share with me, you ain't gonna share with your grandmother, you ain't gonna share with other people. But if it's a stranger, sometimes we find ourselves sharing more, right? Do you feel that way? That you can feel more free? Sort of. So you do feel comfortable in sharing things with your grandmother? Do you feel like you can share with her everything?
Yeah, because we close.
Yeah, you and your grandmother are very close. So do you feel like your mom, you can share stuff with her? Yes, but not as close as that grandmother. That's that grandmother love. But King, I thank you so much for coming and that just shows how strong you have. A strong name, King. You know that? That's a strong name. Who named you?
My grandma.
Your grandmother or your grandpa?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother. Okay, she named you, so she knew exactly where you were going to be, what you were going to do in this world. And so I just want to encourage you to just hold on to that, King. As you get older, this grief thing is going to always be with you, but it's going to get easier. I promise you it will. Let's see what your thing is today. This is the inspirational words to live by today. And so your mom had one about being kind and being humble, and she was like, I'm not trying to feel that right now. So let's see what yours. Oh, look what yours says, King, and this matches you as well. It says kindness matters. Do you feel that? How do you feel about that?
I feel great.
You feel that kindness does matter in this world? Even though somebody accidentally shot your brother, you still feel that kindness matters?
Well, no. Well, it feel because it's like when they did that stuff for no reason, like they had to come to well, my house is close to that house.
Right.
It like that stuff should never happen.
That's right. That's right. And on that note, I think that I would chime in and say to that is that yes, you don't understand, but kindness does matter because they should have recognized that and thought about that whoever I'm fin to shoot this gun at I deserve to treat them with kindness. I deserve to treat them with forgiveness. I deserve to treat them with love. You understand? So if they had been thinking like that, and so my words to each and every person that's looking at this podcast, this episode, is that treat people with kindness, treat people with love. You know, it does matter. Try and think about before you make that conscious decision to shoot someone. Think about that. Think about the family members that are going to be affected. Think about the brothers and the sisters, because King is getting ready to have to grow up in this world. He's a big brother, and so he's looking forward to being a big brother to Devin, just like he's a big brother to Yaya. But you know, kindness does matters, and I think that King right now feels this way. But I think that by him having that strong name, King, that over the years as he grows, I want you guys to look out for him because he's going to be all over the world. He's going to be on TV. I'm speaking that over your life, that you're going to be on TV, that you're going to be a star, that you're going to be, and then you're going to be a preacher. You believe that?
You want to be a preacher?
I believe that. I believe you're going to be a preacher. And so by you being that, I'm going to be praying for you over the years for this kindness matters. Because I know that the King that I know feels that way. I just know that you don't feel that way about the people that took your brother. Okay? But all your other friends and your family and your loved ones, you feel like kindness does matter, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much, King, for being a part of my Shifting My Life podcast. I thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Shifting My Life podcast. Please share this episode with family members or anyone that you think would benefit from watching this. It's children all over the world that do not get the opportunity to share their story, to share about how they're feeling. And so we want to take advantage of this to be shared in the household because, again, King came in and he shifted the atmosphere by sharing his story. And so hopefully this story will be shared in your home to shift your atmosphere. Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to Shifting My Life podcast, where our motto is, it does not matter the energy that life has given you. You are not here to match the energy of your past. You are here to shift the atmosphere. When you come in to this podcast to share your journey, to share your story, your job is to come in and shift the atmosphere with your story. And so I am so happy that to have Miss Phoenix joining us this evening for this episode. And Miss Phoenix is going to be sharing about the loss of her father. And it's very important that we recognize children and they get an understanding on that it's okay for me to share. It's okay for me to hurt. It's okay for me to feel the way I feel, because one thing I know and see all over the world is that a lot of children are hurting and nobody's actually identifying with it. Nobody's actually taking the time to listen to them, to let them be able to say how they feel. And so, Phoenix, I thank you so much for trusting me enough to come on Shifting My Life podcast and share, because your story is going to be shared all over the world. You're going to do great things. And so guess what? That makes me feel honored that, I'm going to be a part of that, because this is just the beginning. Do you believe that? I do. I believe that this is just the beginning for you. And so the scripture that we use for Shifting My Life podcast is Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Let me read that again. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. And so on here, We're full of knowledge. We want to share on here. We want everybody to relax when you put this YouTube on, or you're on Facebook or Instagram listening or looking at it. We want you to sit down with your family, and we also want you to share it with someone that you think will benefit. And so, Phoenix, I know that this year in January, your dad, Kenneth Payne, passed. Can you share with me, because your grandmother was just sharing with me that your relationship with him was really close. What type of relationship did y'all have?
A really good, great one.
A great one. When you say great, what do you mean? Y'all talked a lot, you shared a lot? And so I know a lot of girls are daddy's girls. Were you a daddy girl?
Yes.
Did you used to take all his money? Spend all his money? Because most daddy girls do. And so, what's some of the things that you used to talk to him about? What are some of the things that you would share with him about?
I always talk to him about my school, and he always used to be trying to jinx me and tell us we're not gonna win the game, but we still end up winning.
And let me just say this: she just told us that she's a cheerleader for Southern University, and so she's going to do great things there. And so she said her dad would just tease her like y'all were going to lose the game. But Southern University did good. The football team did good. And so you're going to be out there this year cheering. I can't wait. I'm going to come to the couple of games and support you and be out there cheering. You'll hear my mouth and you'll be like, Miss Carolyn, shut up. Be quiet. Okay, so again, I thank you so much, darling, for coming on and sharing. So your grandmother was just sharing with me, and I thought that was such a touching thing for her to share with me about how you was just encouraging them after your dad's death. And this was just in January, and of course this is May, so it's only been a couple months. And so tell me, how are you feeling right now? How are you feeling these couple months that your dad is not here? Your favorite guy, your guy that you just loved and you would go to, and number one, he was your dad. How are you feeling?
Well, it's very depressing sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but I always remember what he would always tell me to like never give up. But he still try to jinx me. But he still tell me to never give up, and that still boosts me. And I know that he has me in my heart. I have him in my heart, and all I have to do is look up in the sky to talk to him because he's right there.
Oh. And so where did you get that from? Where did you get that knowledge from, that your dad is always in your heart and all you had to do was look up and he was there? Did y'all talk about this before anything happened, or it's just something that God told you?
It just comes in my heart.
It just comes in your heart. And so what are some of the things that you said to your grandmother and everybody that was crying right after your dad's death?
Well, I prayed for them. And I pleaded the blood of Jesus on them, and I told them that it's going to be okay, and y'all don't have to worry.
They don't have to worry. No, because guess what? Your dad is in a good place right now. Do you believe that? Do you trust that he's in a good place? Yes, even though it hurts, because I've lost a child too, like your grandmother. I've lost a child. And so I know a lot of times that you're going to have some good days and some bad days. So right now, since it's just been since January, what are you doing besides cheering to make you feel good some days, to make you put that beautiful smile on your face? What are you doing?
I talk to people, and I like making brownies and baking and cooking.
Oh, you do? You didn't bring any to me?
I haven't made any in a while.
Okay, well, we have to tell your grandmother that you need to make some. I just graduated, so you can make me some brownies for my gift, okay? So you like baking? Do you have a lot of friends?
Well, not necessarily, but I only have one good friend.
Good friend. And how long have y'all been friends?
4 years.
4 years, that's good. And so how did your friend take it when your dad died? I mean, does she hurt like you hurt, or does she understand how you feel, or is she there to comfort you, to tell you it's gonna be okay? Phoenix, don't cry.
She comfort me, but she don't really knows how I feel, so she doesn't comfort me.
Yeah, and you know why she doesn't understand? Because she hasn't lost her dad. And so that's why it's so important that you be around children or friends or people that have lost their dads, and they can understand your feelings, they can understand your heart, they can understand the time when you just break out crying. Because I'm sure that you have some of those days at school, I'm sure that you have some of those days at home. And so when those days come and your friend's not around, your grandmother's not around, your mom's not around, what do you do? Because your daddy was your go-to person, right? So what do you do now?
I read the Bible and I pray.
You read the Bible and you pray. Who instilled that in you? The Bible and praying. Who did that?
My daddy, he always tell me to make sure you read your Bible every night.
Good. That is so good. And so how do you feel? Are you angry?
No, I'm not upset because I know God has him. He's in a great place. And I know that it was just his time to go upstairs with the man upstairs. I know he has a better life up there than down here.
Yes, he has a better life, and that is so true. He has a better life. And as a mother and as your grandmother, that's probably hard for her to understand. But as mothers, it's hard for us to understand that and think about that. But guess what? He is in a better place. That's the way I look at it. I look at my son, I imagine my son running around in the field, and he used to like to joke. And so I sometimes I'd be like, Chad, don't be up there common with the Lord too much. But I imagine him being happy. I imagine him not being in any pain, not having to suffer or go through any of the things. And so Mother's Day is getting ready for to come up. So what are you going to do special for your grandmother and your mother? What are you going to do special?
I don't really know you.
Huh?
I don't really know.
You don't really know? You haven't thought of anything that you're going to do for your grandmother? Well, guess what? You can make them some of them brownies or make a cake. You can always do that. You can.
Grandma doesn't really eat brownies.
She doesn't? What she likes to eat?
You don't ice cream.
Ice cream, yeah. What was your dad's favorite food?
Rotel dip. He didn't like nothing else but Rotel dip. He would always ask my TT Hazel to fix him up a plate.
Fix him up a plate, a Rotel dip. And what is your favorite?
Crawfish.
Crawfish, mine too. I love crawfish. And I have a birthmark with a crawfish. I sure do. They say my mom ate a lot of crawfish when she was carrying me. And I say, well, she did right, because I love crawfish. I love crawfish too. Uh-huh.
I remember the last time we gave me crawfish, she said, now you ain't gonna get no more crawfish because crawfish hot now.
That's what he told you? And when was that? When was the last time y'all sat down and ate some crawfish together?
I don't really remember.
You can't really remember. Was it this year? That y'all, yeah, it was earlier this year that y'all, because they were high. They were high at the beginning of the year. So have you had some since? She say, And again, we are interviewing Phoenix. Phoenix just lost her father this year, January of 2024. His name is Kenneth Payne. And so I think that is so, that she's a very strong young lady, because, she wanted to come on and share. This is nothing that she's being pressured to do. She wanted to come on, and I wanted her to come on to encourage somebody, to share about the love of God that dwells inside of her. Because this child, even though her dad was taken from her and someone killed him, this child is still spreading love. Even though this child still cries, even though this child still hurts, she still is sharing that beautiful smile. She took enough time to be on here today to share with you guys about her dad, some of the favorite things he would tell her, the last words that he probably told you were to continue to read your Bible, huh? Do you remember the last time y'all talked? What was the last thing?
The last thing he told me, because it was just Wednesday, he told me, you better make up your mind what you was gonna eat, because he's gonna bring me something to eat.
He was gonna bring you something to eat, okay? And that probably was gonna be some Rotel dip. He was gonna find from somewhere. Again, I thank you so much, Phoenix, for being a part of this podcast. You're gonna be on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And so, as you sit down in your living rooms and you watch this episode, and you think about Phoenix, and you think about the other episode that's gonna air as well with King. And just think about our children and know that our children are hurting, but they also are strong. In the midst of that, they're strong and they're going to be powerful in this world. And these are the type of children that we want representing us in this world. So allow Phoenix and I, with Shifting My Life podcast, to come into your household, with your family, and prayerfully this episode will shift someone's life. Thank you for tuning in.